something better next time, and then put that in, and then it will always come along like, oh no,
no. The more films you make, the better you get.
But I think I need to kind of just kind of go for it.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think the more films you bet, you get better. I think.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to. You always got to try and push yourself, haven't you? Like all the films I've done, I've always had different styles, and I've always gone trying to go one better, try to push it a bit more, push it. And I think that's what it's all about, really, because you know, you don't want to be doing the same thing forever, do you? In a way.
Yeah. I sort of try to do that's what I'm trying to mix it up now and do like I just want to be able to do everything. I want to be confident in doing every single type of animation, things like that. But
well, I've never done CG.
I hate that. I hate it. I did it in uni, like BA first year. I hated it, and then they started doing it at Masters for the game designers.
Yeah.
And then live drawing lessons on the same day, and I was like, live drawing any day. But it's just, I don't know, it doesn't float my boat at all. It's just, I don't know. I think it's something, I think traditional animation has made a real, I don't know, it's weird, I think it kind of went, like it was huge around kind of like Disney, and then it's just kind of really kind of like commercials and music videos. There's loads of stuff that's been 2D now, isn't there? Like that whole 2D, 3D type.
Yeah.
Like what kind of, like, stalk and things like that, kind of very kind of, you know. Do you think that's making like do you think 2D is kind of rising and getting bigger and bigger and bigger? Because a lot of people say 3D is like overtaking now, but I wouldn't say.
I think it's all about style and fashion, and I think things come and go.
Well, where would you say it is at the moment? Like,
I don't know, man. A lot of adverts seem to be 3D. There's a lot of 3D adverts, but
it seems like music videos seem to be more. I feel like a lot of music videos now are very 2D, and they've got a lot more. That's what it's like. Like you know, Niles Barkley song came out and things like. Just kind of print like just something. A lot more of that going on.
I think it's just. I think the technology's changed things, isn't it? Because you can do everything yourself.
Yeah.
I think predominantly maybe the things with pop promos is there's never any money in them, so people just do them on Flash or something. And, you know what I mean? I think
quickly,
but then I think the style comes and goes. I think it's very much like a fashion. You know, it's
like it's like trend at the time, isn't it?
But there's so much stuff now, and
yeah, it just goes with like.
See, Stop Frame seems to be making a bit of a comeback. Like I know Wes Craven's doing his new film Stop Frame. It's shooting it in London.
Oh, okay.
And there's stuff like that, you know, there seems to be more stuff for him.
Is it the girl just won an award for the...
Oh yeah, like Susie, yeah. And that won the Oscar, yeah. So, and you know, once again, I think the advice will give people is, you know what I mean, is to say, if you believe in something, stick to it. Yeah. It's like Susie, you know, she's got one style. She's always had a very highly sort of figurative, realistic puppets, you know, sort of, and her story's always predominantly about reality rather than being about fantastic things.
Yeah.
You know, and she has that style, and she's stuck to it. She's got that style, and I think I think that works. That works, but it's very easy sometimes to try to figure out what the zeitgeist is, or what you know, what the style is, what the fashion is. But to some degree, you've got to sort of go with what you believe in, because you can end up trying to chase the fashion.
Yeah, you can't force a style, can you?
But it's just you end up going. The danger is it's just you end up not making anything with any substance. Do you know what I mean? Because you're just chasing this thing that is transient. And do you know what I mean? In a way, I think you know, if you've got a style, if you stick to that, there's a lot to be said for that. You know, just sticking by something, and you know,
not move. Yeah, because there's a lot of things kind of you can see it moves with it, doesn't it? Like kind of people change. Like that's the thing. I want to have a lot of different way. Like there will always be something like a collective that you can see about my work that seems to be like even if it might be like the way people move, but there'll always be something. I think when it's someone's work, you just know it's done by them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So when you have photography, you know the image will be totally different. You know. Like you can sort of tell there's like a link between them all, even if it could be completely different.
Yeah, well, people say to me, you know, when I did the retrospective screenings, that was really interesting because they were all together. I mean, they're not meant to be screened together, my films, because the things with short films, they're quite high octane things. They're like in your face and Fast and Furious. So it's watching them back to back is a bit weird because they're not really meant, because they're like little, they're just that one thing.
Yeah.
They're not meant to be. They're not episodic or. And you know, people made all kinds of connections between the films with them.
Was it weird for you seeing them? Did you see like the link?
People just people just say there's just themes in there and visual things and you know, you do them, you don't really think about it. You know, remember what weird though. I remember one time I was in the screen and this guy comes to me, "What's your signature? What's your signature? What's your signature?" He's saying to me over and over. And I'm like, you are, you know, and you know what you're saying, what's your director's signature, but you know, sometimes it's hard for you to, because you just tell a story the way it is, and the way with the stories that I've told, I always try to not be too judgmental on the stories or too judgmental of me characters. You know, just tell a story, and it's up to the audience to figure out whether or not they're good or bad people. I mean, that's too. Do you mean that's too much for me to think about? You know, just tell their story, and because you can't. You know, that's my role. You know, I do that, and then that's it. You know, I mean, but it's funny though that people very much want this stamp on things. You know, do you know what I mean?
Does it surprise you sometimes how like the characters, like say you might portray this character as being that, and then someone, you know, because you always get like, you might do a film and someone will see it completely different from you. But, oh yeah, it's about this. You're like, no. Or like the way you see it is different.
Well, yeah, well, it's like Dad's Dead, you know. So I had a few people say to me that they thought that was about somebody who was schizophrenic, who was, I suppose they sort of saw it as being like a Hugh B. Selby Jr. novel, but they thought that he was like, he was the bad guy.
Yeah, and I thought that at the end. I remember thinking at the end when I thought,
it's the narrator, the bad guy. You know, is he? You know, is it all a fantasy of somebody who's bad? Yeah, and I can see that. I can see that.
Oh no,
but that's sort of up to them, isn't it? It's up to the audience, because you know, you do something. You have your own meanings for films and what they are, but I never tell them. You know, you don't.
That's the thing. It's really difficult with like with my fun animation before I made. So like a few people got it, understood it, and they got the message, and then someone was like, "Huh?" It's just kind of, I think it's potluck of, you know, like because it's so hard to make everyone understand because there's so many different types of audiences. It's really difficult to, like what you're trying to say, to be clear to every single type of audience.
Well, I think the thing is you can be clear on the story, and clear on the characters. You can be clear. As I said, I think it's about concentrating your efforts on telling their story. Or telling the story, that's one thing. So you can be clear about that, but in terms of like what
the afterthought,
how it's interpreted is a different thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's difficult to force one interpretation. Like, there's no way. I don't think it's possible because someone's always going to think different things about.
Well, yeah, they do. But I mean, I think with the story, obviously, you know, he's born, he lives his life, he dies. There's the story, and that is.
Oh yeah, that's understood. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing.
The other parts, right.
Beyond that, it depends how good your. I suppose in a way it's about the purity and integrity of what your characters, whether or not you really believe in the characters or not, or believe in their world, isn't it? And that's the challenge, I think, being a director, is to try to create a world that people will believe in, and not, you know, and but you know, your universe is not everybody else's, and that's where it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's quite interesting when you hear what they think it is, that it is. I don't know, like, you know, it's just kind of all these, like what you're saying. It's really bizarre to hear and you think, oh no, I never thought of doing it like that as a message.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh. Does it annoy you sometimes when some people don't understand?
No, not really. No.
No,
I don't really. You know, it's just about. You know, you accept that after a while. You just say, oh well. It's not that they don't understand, it's just that they have a different take on it, or a different way of looking at it, but that's cool. I mean, I embrace that, and I like that as well. That's the good thing I like about filmmaking, that a lot of animators, or some animators, are not very keen on the idea that the randomness of filmmaking, but I actually quite like it.
I like random, I like nonsense.
It's like when you do, it's how I did Silence is Golden, you know, I got the actors together, and the actors were, you know, we did like improv sessions before you know, and mainly to look at how people speak, because the difficulty is when you're writing something if you've got a Liverpudlian accent.
Yeah.